Hello, welcome to my channel. This is going to be my video for horoscope with the astrology for Mr. I cannot say his name, but he's the leader of Ukraine. So I thought with everything that's going on with Ukraine and Russia, that we'll look at his horoscope. It's Volodymyr Zelenskyy. I'm not good at pronunciations, but anyway, we'll start with his horoscope. So look at his chart, and I've made my notes as usual. Done my bit of note reading, 2 pages, and we can see what's coming up for him, what he's like as a person, and yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So he's a different he's a very different leader than what the other leaders or the other videos that I've been doing. So let's have a go straight into it and have a look here. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen as always so I can show you the chart. So here we are, we have his chart here. And so he's a different leader than as I said, the other ones that I've been covering up in this series of astrology horoscopes that I've been doing. So he is an ascending Gemini, and he has an Aquarian sun with a, his moon is in Leo. So he has a Leo moon. So with that ascending there in Gemini, Geminis love, they are great networkers. They are natural networkers. Geminis are really fun to be around. They're a youthful sign. They're actually good working with young people, and they have a wealth of knowledge. They're always wanting to learn more. So they never think they know enough. And they're like the jack of all trades because they wanting to learn different things. They can have a conversation just about anything. They're a great communicator, Geminis. And having his ascending here in Gemini, he's the sort of person that wants to communicate with the world. So he wants to be on the world stage. He wants to, communicate with everyone there. Now, he's an Aquarian, so an Aquarian sun. So Aquarians are people, they always look to the future. They're before their time. A very Aquarius thing is when people thought the world was flat and then someone came out and said, no, it's round. That would be a very Aquarian thing to do. They're sort of ahead of their time, a bit more ahead of everyone else in terms of, their reality and where they see things going. And his sun being Aquarius, like he keeps his eye on the horizon, keeps looking ahead, it's like he looks to the future before, he's also proud of his knowledge and his morals, and he shares knowledge too. The person wants to share knowledge. He's be good at humanitarianism as well. He's very good at humanitarianism. Caring for others is an Aquarian thing. Innovative, progressive. He'll be unpredictable because Uranus is ruled by Aquarius, and he'd be he'll dislike setbacks and tech savvy. Aquarians are very tech savvy people. The thing about Aquarians though is that they can be a bit socially awkward. Aquarians want to go out and be social and come to the party, and you put them in that situation and they can be very awkward. I'm an Aquarian myself, so if I'm at a party and I don't know many people, I'll bring someone along with me, because otherwise if I don't know anyone there, I'll be in the corner and be sort of awkward. But he has his moon in Leo, which would actually help him with that, because that Leos love to go out. They are the party. They have their ego about them. So with his moon being in Leo, so he'd be emotionally proud. He'd be very generous, confident, dominant, playful, self-indulgent. Look, Leo's ruled by the sun, so it's about them. Okay, needs to be special and dislikes being put down or ignored. The thing with a Leo is that if you go and tell them everything they've done wrong, they will get very pouty, and they will get very kind of a bit like childlike, but they'll get very sooky. They can get a little bit sooky. They can. The way to get a Leo to do things, you've got to speak. If you want the best out of a Leo, you speak them up. You make sure you say positive things. So you want that positive sandwich. So you do a positive, negative, positive. with them, or just try and come across and try it. Negative things won't get you far with a Leo. But yeah, so he's very much out there, and that Leo moon helps him again. That Leo and that Gemini energy that he's got helps him to be a leader, helps him to be able to talk to people, put him out in the forefront. It's very much, it helps him. Now, in his first house here, he's got Jupiter in there. So with Jupiter in the first house, he'd be a person that always looks forward to fun. He would be a very much a lucky person. So with him, if he's in a tight spot, luck always comes his way. Jupiter's luck, and wherever it is in your chart, is going to help you. In the first house, it can also help with health issues as well. And just in general, things that happen to him, he sort of has the luck there to help him get out of it. Okay. Now, interesting enough, his second and his 10th in terms of natal are empty. So it's not a big problem. Just means it's not even though we know on the world stage it's a big part for him at the moment, but I guess with his life it's not the biggest part with him. Okay, but there is something else that does relate to what he's doing now, which I'll get to in a moment. So this third house here, so third house with siblings, it can also be neighbors. It can be a bit of social circles too with his third house, communication. So we got here, he's got Mars and he's got his moon here. So Mars in this house can signal a civil rivalry. So I'm not too sure if he's got any siblings, but it can be a bit of rivalry if he does with them. Also anger, frustration, bit of playfulness. He probably does get along with them, but that rivalry, but also a bit of frustration and arguments could happen with them as well. With the moon there, he gets very emotional when it comes to his siblings. It can suggest here that he has sibling empathy, or siblings who act as a surrogate parent. So maybe him, or if he does have sisters and brothers, one of them may act as a surrogate mother, because it's the moon that's there. So you're looking at the feminine or motherly type as well. We get very emotional about them. Then here in the fourth house, the home and family, he's got Saturn here. So with Saturn being here, it could make him a little bit cold. He's an Aquarian, but with that Gemini and that moon in Leo, he could have a little warmth in him. But with the Saturn here, it could be to do with his home life and family. He might be like a cold nurturer, or impersonal. So childhood could have lacked warmth and affection for him, but also Saturn here, he would have had a problem. So his home life may not have been, a bed of roses. There would have been issues going on in his home life. It wouldn't have been, as I said, rainbows and sunshines. There would have just been like issues coming on. He may not even get along with his parents or family. It may not. I don't know a lot about him. This is for entertainment purposes too. I forgot to mention in the beginning, but I don't know a lot about him. But this is just what his planets say. So in the fifth house, the fifth house is relationships and children. His life lesson is here. So, and he's got Pluto. So with Pluto being here in the fifth house, he's very much a powerful, creative, impulsive. So he has like a lot of energy, a lot of passion, put into creative arts, romance, and even, raising a family, having children. These things are very strong for him with Pluto being there. So as we know, he was I believe, an actor. So he did have quite a big, that would go with that, very creative person. Now Leo also would have helped that with him as well, putting himself out there in the limelight. He might even be like Leo's can be attention seeking. So he may have liked that attention. But also Pluto in this house can also, and especially because his seventh house, it is empty, that can also mean that for him, when the relationships end, it blows up in his face. So very much relationships, romantic ones, but even possibly even friendships. So I'll get to friends in a moment. But when it ends, it might blow up. And it's like, because that Pluto has that effect of the that transformation, the death, and the death, and comes up the phoenix. So it destroys it but rebuilds. So with relationships, when it goes destroys, it really blows up, that fire, and then it starts again. My sister has this, and I can tell you, she has a lot of relationships, like with friends, and when it blows up, that's for sure. The true node here, so his life lesson. So the true node in this 5th house, so the soul needs to learn to use power creatively, become empowered from the heart. So he really needs to lead. He's a person that he's destined. He needs to lead from the heart, and being creative is part of his life lesson. It's part of his destiny. And then because it's in Libra, so the soul is learning how to be an equal partner in relationships, so that the needs of each parts are taken care of in a balance interweaving of the souls. So I feel like he's maybe destined to find either his soulmate, to find the right partner for him, to be able to live a creative life, to definitely keep things in balance is something that that's what he's here to do. Okay. Now in his 6th house here of health, he's got Uranus and he's got Neptune. So with Uranus being here, this can bring on unexpected or sudden health events, health issues. We don't know what we're going to get with Uranus here. So it can definitely bring on some unexpected things to do with health. As I said, he's got Jupiter in the 1st, that will help him. Then Neptune, so Neptune's here, Uranus down here. So Neptune here, Uranus unexpected. The Neptune here can create a fog. So whenever I see Neptune in a health house, it can usually mean that when that person does have a health issue that does come up, it can be like a fog, like they don't really know what's going on. Doctors don't really know either. You have to get a second opinion, try different things. So for him, yeah, we might get unexpected, unusual things that come up his way with health issues. And then the Neptune, we don't know what it is, because the Neptune's there. Then we go into the 8th, because the 7th house is empty. The 8th house, which has got Mercury there. So Mercury is good for, so he's got communication skills to do with other people's money. 8th house is always to do with other people's money. It is other things as well, but the way I read the chart, I just keep it to that. And especially for these purposes, don't need to go on to the other side of the 8th house. But so we're looking at like, well, he's a leader of a country, so he's dealing with other people's money, taxpayers' money. But also this can affect his inheritance, anything to other people's money, this house. He's got Mercury there. So he'd be a very good talker. He'd be a very good talker. Like if he was to do with a career in finances, like even now leadership, it's to do with other people's money. He's a good communicator with this stuff. Also good-minded for finances. So investigative mind as well, because of the 8th house, but because the Mercury is about your mind as well, so the way he thinks, and it also is in Capricorn. So he'd be very good at thinking about government, the way governments run, the way the institutions are run, the way that, laws and orders are done. So this is all goes into why he's probably called into politics. He's strong-minded as well, constructive, practical, controlled, calculating. So Mercury in Capricorn has a strong sense of how things are done. So he'd know how to get things done, get it right, having that Mercury in Capricorn, but also in that 8th house, because it is to do with money. So I found that interesting that he's, president or the prime minister, whatever they call it over there. Because it's to do with, other people's money. Now, he has Venus and the Sun there. So in the 9th house. 9th house is about education. It's about travel. It's a psychic house. He would be very intrusive, this man, because the 9th house is psychic, travel, learning, education. So having the Venus, having the Sun here, he'd be and also with his ascending in Gemini, He'd be very smart. I feel like he probably did well at school. This is a person, again, very intuitive. He may be psychic. He may have had an inkling when things are, coming up his way. We don't know him personally. We don't know. He's probably not going to say that out loud if he is, although he might. Travel, good luck with travel. Love to travel as well. This is a person who definitely likes to travel. He's definitely someone, like he wants to share, as I said at the beginning, about sharing his knowledge. This is the sun in Aquarius, but sun in the 9th house. He wants to share the knowledge he has, and has shared morals, all about what he's learned. He's definitely, that is a very big part of him, and this house is a big house for him. The sun, where your sun is in your chart, that's where the spotlight of your life is for him. Education, spiritualness, travel is very important to him. It's where he's focused on. Okay, and that Venus, love, he'd like all that stuff too. Now, I feel like he's a very passionate man as well. Now, on the 11th house here, we have Chiron. Chiron's our emotional pain. We've all got Chiron somewhere in our chart. For him, it's the 11th. So for this house, it's the rune of friendship. So he might feel rejected by others at times. He might feel like discomfort in large groups. And he's a person that needs to be with like-minded people. So he needs to be people like himself. That's how he flourishes. If he's with people who are very different than him, it's going to create a lot of conflict for him. This is a person who probably with friends, as I said, he's probably had a deep pain with friends. Friendships for him probably isn't easy, having this Chiron there in the 11th house. Now, when we look at the transits and what's going on, so at the moment we can see him, actually this week, which is going to have the moon. The moon's going to conjunct, actually today it's conjuncting Aries. Not in Aries, it's in his Chiron, which is probably causing a little bit of emotional pain there today, a couple of days with friends as well. But he's got, I'm going to start with Jupiter. I always start with Jupiter because Jupiter's luck. Okay. So it's in the 10th house. So from a bit of last year, this year, his career has been going really well. He's liked where he's working. Things have been going, even though war's broken out, let's face it, he's looking pretty good amongst the world stage. I don't think he's looking bad. He's looking pretty good. So he's probably pretty happy with himself at the moment. And feels, even though he's in a war-torn country, he probably feels all right. Now, the thing is, we're going to get to next month. Jupiter's going to come out of this house into the 11th, and it's not going to come back in here this year, just because of the way he is, where the angles are in his chart, how the wedges are up. It's not coming back. And while we've got Mercury coming in, it's going to be in for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months. So it's going to be good for his communication with his work and career. So good, with what's happening now. But he's got this Saturn. Saturn is here. I can make it bigger for you. Okay. All right. He's got the Saturn just here. That's where it is at the moment. It's going to come into this 10th house. And it's his career. So he's going to have problems. We're going to see problems start coming up for him in the career with this. With being there at the moment, it may not start straight away. When the thing with astrology, it can happen, just because a planet moves into that house doesn't mean straight away, bam, we're going to get problems. And because that Jupiter is still there, you're going to have that Jupiter luck there. This will be a actually good day for him actually today. I'm filming this on the 5th of March. Now, but so I suspect when we get towards May, end of April, May, we may see some problems coming up with him. And as Saturn moves through the house, it's going to get stronger and stronger. So where Saturn is now, it's been in the, we go down, it's been in the 9th house. So he's probably had some problems there. May have been some problems going on with the money in that country. I'm not too sure We don't know a lot. We don't get told a lot about their economy. But there's definitely, he would have had some problems maybe with his own money and finances as well. And that's probably coming up to a peak for him. He's going to get, but coming up into this month, he's going to have a bit of frustration. Like he's got this Mars and Venus coming in his house this month. So probably going to get a little bit frustrated. But, you know, at the same time, he may get more money coming in. More governments may give him more stuff. He might get, who knows, he might even give himself a bonus. Because money's going to get a little bit better for now until Pluto makes its way. Sorry, I'm not reading the wrong house. I am too. But I can still see there's money issues there. So, sorry, Saturn has been in the 9th house. Sorry about that. Reading the wrong house, just realized. If beginning of 2021 or going into actually 2020, life for him would have, he had a lot of problems, a lot of issues going on when Saturn was against Venus and the Sun. But there's been problems with that, would have been with psychic and sort of intuitive or travel and learning, which may have not affected him that much. It may not have affected him. He does have money issues, we'll get to in a moment with that Pluto. But I'm just worried or concerned for him when that Saturn goes into his 10th, to see what that's going to happen on the world. Well, let's face it, he's on the world stage now, so we may see something coming up. But in the 8th house here, I'm trying to see more so I get confused. Okay, Jupiter after April will go into his 11th house, which is going to help him out with a bit of friends. As I said, he's born with Chiron. He's got transit Chiron in the 11th house. They're friends, so, you know, probably hasn't gone great. Probably why things also are not going good there with the president of Russia. And then, but now he's going to have Jupiter coming in towards April, and then for about a year, a bit more than a year, he will have Jupiter in his 11th house. So that's going to be, he's going to make new friends, meet new people. Social life may pick up with what's going, who knows what's going to happen. But for him, this is what's going to happen over these next, say, year and a half. It's going to happen for him. And things are going to calm down in terms of friendships. I do feel like he needs to be careful with friends that he makes, with people he makes friends with, though. I will say that. Now, when it comes to the money aspect, what I was going to before, the Pluto in the 8th. So he has had money issues going on. It has been probably saved up money, lost money. Money for him has been very up and down over the last 10 to 15 years. And that's just about to come in to, or definitely by 2024, that Pluto will be in his 9th house, which will affect more about travel and his higher learning. Now, he does have Uranus going into the 12th. Uranus in 12th can indicate some sort of unexpected health issues coming up. It can create that. But then coming into around 2023, Jupiter will be there to help any health issues that he has too, that comes up. But I still feel I'm still feel like psychically he's gonna get frustrated with money coming up for him. And yeah, but when these two planets here, Mars and Venus, come and hit his sun, he's gonna get very frustrated. He might get angry. This could be a strength of energy, a boost that happens for him as well. But I do feel like he's gonna get a bit angry, and may even be at the world too. So I feel like he's asked for something, and whatever he's asked for, it's not being done. His needs aren't being met, I feel like, with him. Just seeing what possible squares. I feel like he gets a bit in a delusion. Okay. All right. Oh, yes, that's right. Neptune. So he has a Neptune transit just coming out of the 10th house. That would have made him be of service. So when you've got Neptune going in the 10th, it's like when you do for work, it's either you don't work doesn't happen for you, your career doesn't take off, or it means what you do for work, it's like you're being of service. So again, that relates to his career move, going to politics. He's put him, being of service. That's just about actually it's out now. going into 11th. So friendships, I said friendships are not going to last with him. It's going to get a little bit better when we have Jupiter next month going into the 11th. It will get better for him, but once that Jupiter leaves, yeah, friendships for him won't be great. Just with his natal planets as well, it's just not good in terms of that, and especially with that Saturn coming into the career as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. Let's do some cards on him. So I'll stop sharing the chart and come back. Okay. So I do feel like, look, I don't mind this guy. I don't even look at these planets, these personality planets. Now, I feel like he's quite, I've got some notes. I feel like he's quite cheeky. And I feel like that there's deals and meetings going on behind his back. I kind of feel like he's like a chess game, and he's a pawn in this game. And I just feel like there's things happening behind his back and he's not aware of, and he doesn't know. And I kind of feel like this thing with Russia, it could have been de-escalated and it could have been fixed, but he wasn't told all the information. That's what I feel like. And I do feel there's going to be people that turn on him and turn his back on him as well. And I feel like there's things that are going on to us under the rug. Like, we're not hearing everything that's going on. But I feel like with him, though, he wants to protect his people. And I kind of feel like with Germany, I was getting like Germany are playing Russian roulette. So I don't want to make the wrong moves. It's like Germany's watching the world. That's what I feel like, that Germany's watching the world and watching what's happening. And because of World War II, they don't want to make the wrong move and be on the wrong side. But I feel like they're playing this game of Russian roulette. I don't know if I trust what's going on there either. I must say, out of all the leaders that I look at, I look at this most likable-ish, but I still feel like he's been a pawn, like he's put there and like a puppet, but because he's like part of this chess game. There are things, and I feel like even though he's been put as the prime minister or president, what they call him, he doesn't have a full control. There are things not behind his back that he doesn't know, and they're putting him in places. I also feel like he's hiding in bunkers, even though we see him like, in the fighting gear. I kind of feel like he's hiding away and he's coming out like he's the Leo. He wants to show that he's doing a good job. He wants to show that he's the person. He's that Leo moon really would come out with him with that in the Aquarius. But I do feel like he does want to help his people, and I do feel like he wants to do the best for his people. I do say that about it. I do feel like just do some cards. Let's do some cards on his career, on his working life, because that's where we're going to find a lot of information at the moment. So I see people turning his back, and I just feel like he's in this pawn game to do with Europe. I've forgotten what they're called. To do with NATO. So I feel like he's in this pawn, and it's to do with NATO and to do with Russia, and there's China. He's been caught in the middle, unfortunately, with this, because even with them, I feel like there's something going on and we're not told everything as usual. And it's going to be like that way with these planets in Neptune. Let's have a look at this career. Okay. All right. Well, he is going to have to fight. He's going to have to fight when he's fighting now, but when we're looking at his work, there is some fighting going on. He's going to need to take charge. And definitely he's a person that, he's very sure of himself. He wants to have a bit of fun. So I feel like he's kind of like hiding, or taking a retreat. He is trying to listen, but I feel like he knows that people are talking behind his back. He does have an inkling that there are things going on that he doesn't know. He does know there are people who are ready to put the knife in his back to perhaps turn. I do feel like he does have that inkling that is going to happen. Simply because we've got him taking charge there, so he's going to have to fight for his life, but fight for the country. I feel like he wants to make his country the best it can possibly be. So I do feel like he has a heartfelt, wanting to do the best by them, and do wanting to protect them, and wanting the best for them. I do feel that with him, but at the same time, there are these deals, these things that have been going on that he had really no control of. I feel like he's been put there, but he doesn't really have all the control that we think that he does have. And I do feel like he may run away. So he'll want to stand and fight, but even now, I feel like he's hidden a little bit. But I'm sort of feeling like he's gonna. It's like he knows, and there is a bit of heartache coming up for him. There is a bit of entrapment coming up where he's going to feel a bit trapped, because that Saturn is it's just on the border now. So by next month, it's going to come in there. I can go forward in the chart and show you, but it's going to come in there by next month. And that's going to be for him. Saturn stays in that house for around 2 years, 2.5, probably that size of the segment. We're looking at 2.5 years. This is going to be in there. So I kind of feel like he may even be stopped in his tracks, like he's in charge, but he's on charge trying to get forward, but he's been stopped. Like the cat's been stopped because of the lakes being there. It can't go through the lake. And I do feel like he has a great worry about what's going on with the people around him too. And he's really trying to communicate, showing good vibes up. Like there is success, but not in the way that he's probably going to think there's success. He is going to live he does have a good life. Generally, his life is a good life, and it does have prosperity there for him. It's just what's coming up for him is, there's a bit of entrapment there. Because he's got that good face in the world, I feel like they might want to keep him there in the centerpiece, because he has that charm about him that he does have, that we do see. So I do feel like they may keep him there, but I do feel like I just feel like he wants to retreat. He wants to retreat, but I don't know whether or not he can fully get out of the situation that he's in. It's like he's in a knee deep right now. He does want things to change. So that he does want to help people, but I feel like he feels like a bit hopeless, like he can't fully help them and do what he really wants them to do. It's a little bit sad. Sad for him. It's going to happen next year. It's going to happen coming up. I just feel like this is just a start, and I kind of feel like by May we're in a different place where the whole world is kind of involved and we're kind of out of control. For some reason I keep getting Germany, so I feel like Germany, we need to be careful as well. Like past mistakes hadn't been learnt. We've done that side too, and they're trying to play this manipulating game, but I'm really unsure about it. Do some more cards. Let's just on him as a person, see where he's going generally. He's going to be taken down the peg, though. I do feel like that too. He's going to be taken down. And also we've got that square between Mercury and Uranus. So for him, what's that? This is going to be the career. He's going to have problems with his career and secrets. So secrets may come out because he's got that Uranus in the 12th, which is making that square. It was last year and coming to this year with Saturn. Saturn goes into the 10th. He's going to have secrets possibly coming out with to do with his career, which also is going to cause him a bit of heartache, a bit of trap. But he can't go anywhere. I feel like he may try and hide. He can't go anywhere. Kind of feels like he feels a bit hopeless. Like, and he's got like someone who's like a chameleon beside him. So someone that's there, I feel like is like a lizard, but I feel like he's like a chameleon. So they're camouflaging themselves, like trying to making out they're doing the right thing by him, by the country, but it's actually a little bit different. Let's have a look, just give them the cards. At the moment, though, I feel like his world has been tipped upside down. He will get out of this mess by 2024. Things are looking very different for him, where his life is. By then, I feel like he's learned the lesson of not just trusting people, by really listening to his gut intuition more. I feel like it's like he's going to come into a spiritual awakening where he's really going to learn to trust his gut, trust where he's going, and he'll believe in himself more. And yeah, I feel like he may even go back to acting. He may decide that, you know, being on that sort of world stage is not for him. I feel like he may go back to acting, or back into that creative. He needs to have that creative flair about him. So he needs to have the energy and creative spark. And I feel like he's going to get that more going into his singing, acting career. So I feel like that's where he may go back. So he will get out of this mess. As I said, he needs to believe in himself a bit more. And he will gain, his confidence is going to drop a little bit, but he's going to show up. You will always see him, and you'll see him being happy and having this very, this familiar thing, even though his world's a bit upside down, and so I feel like he always put his front, but he's going to feel a bit deflated. There's going to be just a lot of, he's just going to have to know who to trust. And by the end of these transits, especially the Saturn one in the career, by the end of it, he will know who to trust. He will know that he was manipulated and put in a position of power, but he didn't really have the power that he thought he had. He thinks he's making the decisions, but the people around him are making more of the decisions, and they're putting things in and manipulating him too. He's being played, and as well as by other governments too around the world, again, are playing and manipulating on this situation, because unfortunately he's being the in the game of what's going on around the world, he's being the martyr. So they're using him. So I feel like there's America involved in this as well. Of course, Russia, not good. And to help him to get out of this, he's going to have to use his networking skills, which he's a natural born networker. That will get him out of this mess, because that's what's going to get him out. But he is going to be bullied. So I'm going to say by next year, perhaps even by next year, he's got someone that he can trust that's going to help him along with this, but it still won't be out of the woods just yet. He will find someone loyal to be around him, but this person will not be a political figure. This person will be an outside. So it may even be a civilian that he comes across and meets, who knows? But I just feel like by next, I'm going to say by next, possibly even April, next year, it could be April this year, once Jupiter goes into that 11th house, he will meet someone that's very loyal to him, that can help to guidance and to give him, you know, what he needs. Because I just feel like at the moment, his energy, he's put on this show, but inside he's a bit scared, and he really doesn't know where he's going, what's he doing, and he has this inkling. I just feel like he has this inkling. He knows people are out to get him, and within his own party, within his own country, but he's really got to try and open his eyes a bit more, and use the networking. But he's going to have to learn to play the game, and play the game well, especially for the world stage, because he knows one wrong move and he can be down. But he wants people, there's promises that have been made, and he wants people to be kept on their promises, and to give him, you know, what's been promised to him, or promised to the country, or promised, and people aren't delivering, and he's feeling very disappointed in that. But he knows that he's in this situation because he's a pawn in the game and what's going on. That's what I feel that's going on here. Okay, I'll leave it there. We'll see how this situation progresses. I may just do more videos, do more cards, see how it's going on. We may go back to the chart if I see anything else that's going on with him. Now, for when we do other horoscopes on people, I will. I thought this one would be interesting to do right now. I was going to do one on Meghan and Harry on their relationship, to look at those aspects, and a few other royal family. I thought it would be interesting too. So I am doing a card workshop if you are in Sydney. I am doing Southwest Sydney, doing a card, one-day card workshop. It'll be $150, but you do get cards. You do get lunch is provided, afternoon tea is provided, plus you get the full day and the card mat. So I do make the card mat up so you can practice your readings with cards that you get. And I am launching something soon. I just want to get all the information out before I actually tell everyone what it is. So I am working on something. I'm hoping to do a live next Friday night, and just want to let everyone know that where I'm in Sydney, I am okay. So we are the floods, but where I am, I'm fine. I'm okay for now. So that's it. Okay. So thank you for your comments, liking this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're all doing well. And I'll see you, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you get more notifications for more videos that I do that come up. And I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you again soon. So bye for now.